Welcome to the Global Ventures Podcast. My name is Ryan Lilly, and I'm the Program Manager for Global Ventures located here at the Research Park at Florida Atlantic University in Boca Raton, Florida. Global Ventures, if you're not familiar, is a program designed to assist companies in scaling up to become successful here in South Florida, and if they're new to the United States, to the U.S. as well. We're a soft landings designated incubator, which means that we're also able to serve international companies who are looking to scale up here in the U.S. We help companies grow through collaboration with researchers here at the university, through access to talented student interns, connections to our local network of business service providers, and to through making strategic introductions to potential customers, partners, and more. We really seek to become an extension of your business development team. This podcast is meant to tell the stories of the companies here at Global Ventures, and also to hopefully encourage those of you listening to becoming entrepreneurs yourself and hopefully joining us here at Global Ventures. Today, please help me welcome our next guest, Rob Kennedy from DarumaTech. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Ryan. Glad to be here.
So, Rob, I want to start out by just having you introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about where you're from and where you grew up.
I grew up in the Chicago north suburbs of Chicago, Lake Forest. Went to school at Northwestern University. Moved down here in around 1986. Okay. And the company DarumaTech is, I co-founded that with Susan Erickson in 2013. And when I first moved down here, I was working for my father, up north I was working in construction for my father's home building company. Came down here, worked with my brother in his home building company, and ended up buying out his company, and he moved to Colorado. And then in 1999, I decided that I needed to make a career change. Didn't trust what was going on in the real estate market and felt I wanted to do something different. So went into IT services, started a company called Binco, and which in 2013, we kind of renamed it when I joined forces with Susan Erickson, and we made it focused on software development, custom software development, and IT services.
Okay. So what did DarumaTech really, what was the problem that you set out to solve? Being in the late 90s, I know there were a lot of tech companies that were coming about and doing development, but what gap did you see in the marketplace?
So it's a good question. And when I first started, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I did a little bit of everything. Like a lot of people that jump into IT, I did a little web design, did a little IT services, networking, built computers, a lot of different things. Anything that I could get somebody to pay me for, I did. It was all over the map. That's where in 2013, then we made a real concerted effort. I mean, we were doing okay, but we're always just kind of hovering around break even. In 2013, we felt that we needed to specialize, and that's when with Susan, we really focused on cloud and mobile app development and custom software. So that was the primary focus of our business from 2013, and we saw a need for a cost-effective, as a small shop, cost-effective software solutions that we felt we could deliver. And in maybe 2015, we were at a trade show trying to sell software services or development services to the craft beer industry, and we came across the executive director of the New York State Craft Brewers Association, Paul Leone. And Paul liked us, and he had an idea for our mobile app, that our little mobile app for brewers was fine, but what we really ought to do is build a mobile app for an association with a loyalty program, because that's what he was looking for. We really liked the idea, and at that point, we focused our efforts on building a mobile app for associations and a loyalty program, and we've since expanded that particular platform to include a more robust mobile content management system, and then it's expanded from New York State. We've picked up a bunch of other states. We've picked up Vermont, Maryland, Connecticut, Washington State, Texas. I'm forgetting some, but Ohio is one of our bigger ones. And we continue to pick up more industries besides just craft beer. We also have Maryland Grow and Fortify with a multitude of different products, and then Nova Scotia also has a number of different products. It's more of an economic development loyalty app for in Canada. And we've recently picked up a project that's more tourism and economic development for Marion County. Mm-hmm. And our app back end is also used within the transportation industry. We've got a mobile loyalty program that we're kind of developing together with FAU, one of their urban studies department, with John Rennie. And that particular app is a multimodal app that we have kind of plugged in our back-end mobile content management system to help manage it.
Very nice. So when you started into apps, were you doing both Apple, iOS, and Android, or how did that evolve?
Yeah, we've always been both. It's changed over the years, but yes, we've always had an iOS and an Android app.
Okay.
And then also cloud. We have our back end is a cloud. It's built in .NET, and it's running up in Azure as a native cloud app.
Got it. Okay. Very interesting. And the loyalty aspect of the app, so users get points for visiting certain locations or for doing certain things within the app. That's how the loyalty side works.
That's it. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Very good. Very good. So tell us a little bit about the geographic areas that you serve. You mentioned a whole bunch of states just now, Nova Scotia. And
right. That's more recent. Within the last 2 years, we've picked up Nova Scotia. In doing that, we had to make our app multilingual. So that in that particular case, it's French and English, and we had to recode our back end to support multi-languages. Now that we have that complete, we're looking to expand it into other provinces, of course, in Canada, different states in the U.S., and then also at some point we're going to move into Latin America and Europe.
Wow, that's great for a lot of our listeners who might be international to know that you have that capability to translate your apps into different languages. So tell us about a little bit more about the specific products and services that you offer. You talked about app design. You do web design as well. Tell us about the other types of software development that you do.
Yeah, we've done some other a number of different areas, but our primary focus is mobile and cloud, and we've built for the one of our apps that we've developed and we've been working with this the South Florida Regional Transit Authority with their Tri-Rail, the train that runs up and down the coast. That we built that mobile app for them, and that was built as a native app using Swift and then in Java for Android. And we continue to maintain that on an ongoing basis, and we're adding new features. We're adding new features this next month. Okay. And we've also built for some custom. We're very good at solving unique problems for companies or associations or like a museum. Like one of our clients is the Museum of Discovery and Science, and we did that with FAU, and it was a STEM program for the Museum of Discovery and Science, and it's an augmented reality app, and that was funded in part by United Way, and then also the Florida Panthers, a national hockey team. And we built a scavenger hunt, an augmented reality scavenger hunt for them with their students, with student support. And you've worked with the, is it the Marine History Museum as well that you've done a project with? Yeah, so we have the Marines Museum at Paris Island contacted us. They had a unique challenge for an interactive kiosk. That interactive kiosk was an educational tool for Marines, and we built that for them, and it's now in their museum, and that's a nice little product. They were having trouble with their IT developer, wanted an arm and a leg to build it. What we figured out we could very quickly build something for them, for a kiosk that would live independent of the internet. They don't have an internet in that museum for a number of different reasons, and the app, so all the content has to live on the mobile device, the kiosk. In the case of the Vizcaya Museum and Gardens, we had a project that we did with them that was took advantage of our drone imagery I'm a drone pilot, Part 107 certified, and we did aerial photography and videos that we put together into a point cloud and then built them an interactive kiosk for their museum to display that, along with other photography and digital assets that they had available. And again, we were selected because we're very good at solving problems and doing them cost effectively.
Sure. And I'll give a testament to Rob's photography. I was just, before we started today, looking at one of his aerial photographs of a beach that you took recently, and it was just absolutely beautiful photography that Rob does. So tell us, Rob, we've talked about a lot of different customers that you've served, a lot of different industries from tourism to transportation. Who would you say is your target customer? And maybe someone's listening who knows, someone in a particular industry that you're looking at. Who can we best refer you to? So
I think where we really excel is in developing mobile and cloud apps. And some of them are augmented reality, some of them are location-based services. That's where we're really good at it. We certainly can whether it's a multimodal transportation app or a loyalty app for a trade or association. That's where we're really good at, and we have a lot of experience, and our staff is very skilled at helping trade associations, economic development authorities develop some fun, gamification. We've built a lot of apps that have not done well. They had the right idea, but it was not engaging. So the apps that we have had the most success with, there's some element of gamification, whether it's a scavenger hunt, or it's get points for going to different breweries or wineries. What the association does is put together a program where there's an incentive for businesses or for the consumer to do what they want them to do, and they get rewards. We collect the points, and then they can redeem that in the store or get badges and so forth. And some areas they can't give away physical merchandise because of the laws and the product that they're selling. In others, they can. So we'll tailor it to meet their needs, and we've got a very, very robust, I think there's no others that is as robust as ours. We can do what a lot of other larger companies can do. We can do it with at a much lower cost and much more easily for the end user.
Absolutely. So how do companies typically find out about you? How are you currently marketing your business and getting the word out?
So right now we get a fair bit of our business is from referral, but I would not sell short. We do have outbound sales efforts. We are, Rick in our office, who is a strategic, is one of our directors, and when he's not helping, do the finance, he will get on the phone and start dialing trade associations, guilds and so forth, and networking with them and use that networking to find other potential clients. But we do get a lot from referral from existing clients. Like New York is referred, must be close to a dozen different guilds and associations in his industry. And then those people are happy, so they'll refer somebody else in another, complementary industry. That's how we've picked up the wineries in certain states, because they're happy with their beer app. Then we'll develop one for the wine industry in their state. The other area that we do a fair bit is respond to government RFPs. We constantly watch for government RFPs. So some of our products are a good fit for government, small agencies, small governmental agencies, and so we'll go ahead and
city
submit.
Or county government, small.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Like our project for Marion County, that was a response to an RFP for a mobile app.
Okay.
And that was just pure us monitoring, what's out there for bid, and if it says mobile on it, we will bid. If it's a transportation app, that most of those we're starting to bid. Some of them are still. We don't have ticketing yet. We still need to build some features to submit on some of the larger bids, but we're working on it. And then the last thing, of course, is digital marketing. We do, of course, through our social media, through website. Of course, we do that as well.
Okay. Great. So for those listening who are entrepreneurs themselves, tell us, Rob, about the biggest lesson that you've learned as an entrepreneur. If you were starting a business today, what would be some advice that you would give yourself kind of looking back?
Oh, well, it's pretty much the same sage advice that you'll hear over and over and over again, and it's really true. And whether you actually deliver on it is, some people think, like myself, we think we're doing it, and then, we really need somebody like a mentor, or we need somebody that's independent to say, yeah, you're really not doing that. But in any event, I would say that, the 5 things, if I had to pick 5, it would be, one was, developing a clear plan of what you're trying to do with measurable goals, with, specific measurable goals on the plan and how to get there. So that's extremely important. You need to communicate that to, of course, the second most important thing, and that is your team. You need to have a really good team, and that team is going to help you get there. And if you are not if you're not good at putting together a team, then you need to first hire somebody that can help you put together that team. But you need a strong team. And in my case, I've tried to find people that know a lot more than I do about their particular area. And that's what you need to do. Hire the best that you can and train and motivate them and give them room to, make some mistakes, but get you across the finish line. Third thing would be make sure you have adequate financial resources. Don't jump into it if you can only pay for the first 6 months. You really need to be able to develop across the finish line and then market your product. We have seen so many clients that come in with they have enough money to get through the non-functional prototype, and that's okay. But before you start developing, you better have access to funds to do the whole project and market it. And that means the marketing. So if you built an app and you don't have any money left in the budget to promote it or market it, it's going to go nowhere.
It's not a build it and they will come.
It is not. Not today. Maybe at one point in time, and maybe there's some exceptions out there, but no, you really need to get it. You need to get it. You need to put some effort behind getting it marketed. And then the next one is, we started out not really knowing what we wanted to do, and then we thought we would build mobile apps. We had no idea of doing something for an association or a trade associations. We had to pivot. We thought we were going to go build augmented reality apps because augmented reality apps were hugely popular, and it was the big rage. Everybody was talking about it. Very frothy, but in the end, we couldn't get enough of those to keep the lights on. So we had to pivot. When we came across an association who was willing to pay us good money, we thought there might be some others, and sure enough, there were. So you need to be prepared to adjust your plan or pivot as needed. And then the fifth one that I would say it's important, and that is to develop some good partnerships, because even it's similar to your team. You're going to need some partnerships that are beyond your team to work with you to get this to make it a success.
Very good. And I've gotten to know some of your team, and I know Carla has been in the podcast room here before, and Susan, and you mentioned Rick, and you really have surrounded yourself with an excellent team of people who are great people. So Rob, tell us some ways that you've benefited from being here at Global Ventures and at the Research Park at FAU. How has that specifically been a help to your business over the years?
It's been very helpful, and the biggest thing is it's a collaborative work environment, and in so many ways. Whether it's the staff, which are super supportive at the Global Ventures office. I mean, you and Andrew and Jackie, all super supportive. Not just supportive. You really, everybody that we've come across wants to see us successful, and I will tell you that other tenants here are also very, very keen on helping you succeed and as a business. And if they know somebody that needs your services, or they know somebody that you might want to talk to, they'll offer it up. A good example is James Faris. He's in our office next door to us, and he's if he overhears that we're struggling with something and he's got an idea to help solve it, he'll come knock on the door and say, "Excuse me, but I heard you're having an issue with this, and this is what we're doing, and it works out really, really well." And he's been a phenomenal, source of collaborative information, And he refers us business, and he's not the only one here that's helped refer business. So it's a good collaborative environment. And then, in addition, I have to say it's extreme. We enjoy the flexibility and how cost effective it is. If we need, we've had it where we're in between projects and we need to scale back. We scale back. People work from home. And then there's a time when we've got more people we need to bring on and we need to be here more often. We'll take a bigger office. And then that flexibility of being able to grow, and then if we have to, scale back and adapt to market conditions, that's really helpful. We're not locked into more space than we need. And if we need more space, it's available. And the other thing is it's very cost effective. We don't have to pay to have a receptionist. We don't have to pay to have a conference room. We don't have to pay to have a podcast room
or a break room or any of those.
A break room. Yeah. All of these things are part of, we're sharing that with everybody else in the facility. So it's very cost effective. And the other thing is a great location. We're right next to FAU. So when we want to meet with an FAU professor or we're doing something collaboratively with the university, they're right there. If we hire student interns, which we do on a regular basis, this is super convenient. They go to class, they come by here on the way home, or they come here and then they go to class. It's a great location for a small business and certainly for a startup.
Great, thank you. We're so glad to hear that testimonial. Thank you so much. So, Rob, tell us where you see your business growing 5 years from now. What do you see DarumaTech as doing? How big do you see your company? What's it going to look like in the future?
Well, we're not trying to be the biggest out there. We would like to be the best, and we want to continue to grow, and we want to grow our product. We have our product in transportation. We want to continue to grow that we're doing collaboratively with FAU. And then we also want to take our loyalty program and continue to grow it. And then, and that's great, but we still like working with small businesses to develop custom solutions and a new challenge and find some new challenges that we can kind of, sink our teeth into and help solve in a cost-effective way.
Great. Rob, for anyone listening to this and maybe they want to get in touch with you and learn more about your services, can you give us your website and how people should reach out to you?
Sure, yeah. Our website is DarumaTech. That's Daruma, like the Japanese wish doll, Daruma, and then tech.com. And that's an easy way to reach us, and you can also give us a call. Great.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Rob, for being on the program today. We really enjoyed having you. Thank you also for helping put this podcast room together. You and James Faris were actually the two people to make this room happen. So thank you very much.
It's a very nice resource.
And also, just talking about the podcast room real quick, if anyone listening in the community would like to make use of this room, can you tell us about how they would do that?
Yeah, so we put this together with your help and support for the tenants here in the research park. Or local businesses. We'll work with local businesses as well. But for people that are in the research park, we try to make it super easy for them to do. It's really well set up. Just reserve a spot. If you know how to use the equipment, we ask you to take good care of it, but you're welcome to use it. There's no cost. And if you want help, which we do have help, we have Carla available and some of our other staff that's familiar with the equipment that'll help you, and they also know how to do some editing if needed.
And I'll give a testimonial that this is really state-of-the-art equipment in this room. Most people, when they think about podcasting, you might think of just using like a little podcast mic at home. This is Rode equipment, just really state-of-the-art technology in here, mixing board, all kinds of really, really great tech.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Very nice.
All right. Well, again, with that, thank you so much for listening to the Global Ventures podcast. If you are interested in Global Ventures itself, please visit globalventuresfau.org, and we'll be happy to meet with you and explore how we can work together. Again, Ryan Lilly here for Global Ventures. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you next time.